What's going on? Very interesting day, man. Very interesting day. So, I mean, where do we begin? For one, I'm not surprised that Daniel Dubois did that. It's a style of fighter that Joshua hasn't really seen before. We're going to go look at the resume. But also, Daniel Dubois was coming off of a lot of momentum, a lot of good momentum. For example, let's go look at his resume. Remember, he had struggled against Kevin Lerena. But what did he do? Come back, knock him out. Some say he quit against Usyk. Some say he won. He should have won from a body shot. Then he had that great fight with Big Baby Miller where he willed himself to knock Miller out in the very last round. What was it, like 8 seconds left or something like that? Then he goes and beats up the so-called boogeyman, Felix Hergovitz. Stops him in 8. So he's coming off of a lot of momentum. And then he goes in and pushes Anthony Joshua's shit in. We're going to go look at the replays. We're going to watch some highlights. Talk about the fight, talk about what's possibly next. Anthony Joshua had a post-fight press conference. He is not retiring. There is a rematch clause. They have one more fight with Riyadh season. And the original plan was if Joshua would win tonight, he was going to wait for the winner of Fury Usyk, which is happening on December the 21st in Saudi Arabia. Fury, if you saw his reaction, he was like, damn, it's over. Conor McGregor sitting right behind him. But still, it's not over for Anthony Joshua. I don't think it's over for him because if you really look at it, he made some significant defensive mistakes. For one, he is too big to be pulling back, with his hands down. And yes, to talk about those sparring stories that him and Daniel Dubois had, I heard of that years ago, that Dubois was giving him issues. So he came in with confidence and he went right at Anthony Joshua. Very first round, dropped him. In fact, let's go look at the replay. Very first round, came right at him. And Joshua couldn't do anything. And what we learned from Joshua is when his legs are gone, dude is having some significant issues. Here it is. This is the first knockdown here. As you can see, Joshua made some mistakes. Caught him clean.
But gets it right on the tag.
Damn, they took his head off. This was the very first round. And look, just hands just down.
But gets it right on the tag.
Hands just down. Let's go look at it in slow motion. And look where he brought it from. And look, Joshua's just literally looking at it. Look, he's looking right at it. Mangled him. And he couldn't do nothing. And after this, he never recovered. After that, he never recovered. Never recovered. So here's the thing. If he were to correct these mental mistakes, these defensive mistakes, I think he can win the rematch unless Daniel Dubois has his soul. You think Daniel Dubois took his soul? Like remember, a lot of people thought that Andy Ruiz took his soul. But he came back and beat Andy Ruiz. I think that Joshua needs to stay in that 140-pound range. That's what I believe. By the way, Dubois came in the heaviest he's ever been at 248. He was 233 for Usyk. Joshua came in at nearly 253. When he beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch, he was 237, and he was hovering around 240. Remember, people were calling him a bodybuilder. I think the highest he was ever was 256, I believe it was. What's the highest he's ever been? Yeah, about 256. So he is too big to be pulling back with his hands down and having the type of defensive lapses that he was having. In fact, let's go look at the stoppage. Let's go look at the stoppage. Because, you know, and don't get me wrong, Joshua was holding his own. He was trying to, at least, but, you know, and the jab was working whenever he decided to use it. But he just had the wrong game plan. Just had the wrong game plan. Let me see here. Let me find this. I recorded it. Where we at? OBS videos. By the way, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. All the links to everything is down below in the description box. So now, okay, here's the thing. What if it's not Daniel Dubois next? What if they say, you know what? We want an interim fight. Would you entertain Joshua Wilder? Is it too late? It ain't no stadium fight no more. That's obvious. But is it too late?
Massive round for Ray Ford.
Oh, wait, my bad. My bad, wrong video. Like, is it too late for him? Where's this video at? OBS videos. Is it down here? Is it down here? Yeah, here it is. Here, let me see if I can find the clip for you. The stoppage. The stoppage. And Joshua had him hurt, so this is when it ends. Joshua got a little bit too comfortable. And the thing is, he was squirming down there like he was trying to get up. You know, you got to commend him. He was trying to get up. And he walked right into it. He was loading up his right hand. Oh, he was going for an uppercut with his hands down. Let's slow it down for a little bit. How do I slow this down? And just caught him. And that was one of them wide swinging uppercuts. He had it coming. But then look, he was down there and he gonna try. God bless him. Look, he sleep for a minute right there. He's out. He's out. Oh man, I messed it up. My bad. He's out. He's out. He's out down there. He was trying to get up, but he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. And the thing is, he had hurt Dubois. Let's see. What was it right here? Let's see if I can find this one. As you can see, beginning of the second, the fifth round, as you can see. Hitting, boom, caught him. The biggest shot. I mean, I'm talking about Joshua was back, and if you remember, it looked like the beginning of this round and the end of last round, the fourth round, it looked like Joshua may have had his legs back. You know, it seemed like he was starting to come to a little bit. He was talking to Daniel Dubois. It seemed like he was back. And he caught him. Let me let it play through a little bit. He gonna catch him. Boom. Look. Retreat. He gonna hit him again. Another one coming. Boom. And then he tried to get overzealous, and you try to go with this long uppercut. You try to go with a long, you know, like distance uppercut. Like, what was he thinking? Got his ass laid out. Here, let me pull up the and you know, Joshua got hard, that's for sure. He was trying to get up. He was trying. He was down there fighting for his life to try to get up. Up the memes, they have begun. They getting in good. The memes have begun. Look, he was making love to that canvas poontang pie. Ass is up, face is down. He was face down in it. This is a real photo, by the way. This is the shot we showed you earlier. This is the shot, like, look. And this is real. This is a real shot. That's his face. So the fact that he went on after that, let me see, is this going to show when he's trying to get up? Look, he was rolling around down there, and I'm like, Joshua, get up.
There's no way back from this, surely. 7, 8, the towel's in.
Look, he was fighting for his life. You got to give him credit, though. So I do admit, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think that he can win the rematch. I mean, obviously significant adjustments, but is Joshua? I mean, does Dubois have his soul?
Back from this.
Does he have his soul?
Surely.
Does he have his soul? But I guess you can say Dubois did beat the shit out of him, though. He was whooping his ass. Especially that first knockdown where, he was hitting him like when they ruled it a slip. The one that they ruled a slip where the referee, I don't know what type of shit he was on. Look, this is a real photo. That's a real photo. You ever see that Will Smith movie Hitch when he had the allergic reaction? You know what I'm talking about? Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. You know what I'm talking about? That's how that image looked. Let me see this shit right here. Where's it at? This. He made him look like that. No? He turned him into Will Smith. Turned my man into Will Smith. But shout out to Dubois, though, by the way. Well, let's listen to this. Here's what he had to say. He wasn't at the post-fight press conference very long, and I have to give Joshua respect because he never ducks no interviews, even if he do get a little psychotic. But he kept it together, though. He was pretty cool at the post-fight and during the post-fight interview.
I'm going to pass the mic to AJ. I've explained you wanted to come and do this. I told you not to, but you'll...
By the way, Frank Warren and Queensberry been whooping Matchroom ass. They bankrupted Matchroom. They beating up all their fighters. Eddie ain't going to have nobody left.
Always do it. We're not going to take questions, but you wanted to say a few words.
Firstly, always walk with your head high. We took a shot at success and we came up short, unfortunately. We rolled the dice, man, for the third time. That's 13 world title fights. Not everyone's been successful, but everyone's been fun and entertaining. We're trying to create history for British boxing, and I think we're doing that. And also, I appreciate all the press, media. The fans aren't here, but I thank them through you guys. I'm sure you guys will let them know that we're appreciating their support. And probably you're asking, do I still want to continue fighting? Of course I want to continue fighting. That's what I said is, we took a shot at success and we came up short. And what does that mean now? We're going to run away? Or we're going to live to fight another day? And that's what I'm a warrior. And also, before I finish, we have to give credit to our opponent as well, Daniel. Even though when I sign up to fight opponents, I don't really like him in my head anymore. But now it's done. I take my hat off to him and say, well done, Tim and his team. And also thank you to my team as well for the way they prepared me. There was a few mistakes in there, but that's the name of the game. Fine margins can cost you at the top level. So thank you.
Right.
Is that all good? That all good?
Yeah.
Thank you guys again. Much appreciated.
So, yeah, he didn't take any questions. He just came out in a little statement and left. Look, he was down there fighting for his life. And look at this. This is how you can tell he was going, because look how this arm, he's trying to push off on it. Like, he just can't do it.
Back from this.
Look, he can't do it. That's crazy how, like, the human body work, that he just so fucked. Look, his legs ain't moving, but he trying to will it from this one arm. He trying to push himself up. That's how you know he was fucked. So he landed, and mind you, he was done for a little minute. He, like, you know how, like, sometimes, like, I'm a side sleeper. So you put, like, your arm under the pillow and you, like, lay on it, like, it looked like that. So look, he like, you know what? I'm just going to just lay right here. And then he like, oh shit. And he pushes off with this leg. You can see he trying to get some traction. So he sleep right here, boom. But then he come to. Mentally he comes to, his body don't. So he try to pop up, but he can't. Look, watch his leg. And then he goes to arm. And then he uses the ass. He rolls over. He rolls over and tries to reach for the rope. And then he did the little hitch. Look, watch this. Watch it again. Pay attention. So watch the leg. So he sleep. Boom. So he eats the shot. Boom. Sleep. The head's going to go down. He's going to be asleep for a little minute. He going to catch himself like, oh, shit. Leg twitches. He going to try to push off with the leg. Leg going to give out. Boom. Then he going to be like, he going to put all his strength and try to, He-Man his way up with his one arm. Boom. Shit. Then he rolls over. Third try. Like, Then he go to reach. But look, he's so far away. He like, shit. And then he goes to try to roll over, but the arm give out. And that's when his ass is up. Almost tips over. Almost tips on over. Then he falls backwards. That's it. He wasn't getting up. That's it. That's it. That is it. He was cooked. But people probably gonna say it's fixed. Y'all think people saying it's fixed? But here's the part that bothered me. Look where he tried to throw this uppercut from. What was he thinking? Like, it was so many defensive, and even in this case, offensive. What was he thinking? Where was he trying to throw that uppercut from? He's so far away. He's so far away. I guess he thought he was going to lean into it. But it didn't get there. It didn't get there. And a restful slumber. I bet this probably felt like eternity to him. Oh shit, what he had to say. Oh, he won his taste. He won his shot.
Congrats, Daniel. Good win. I'm happy for you. But if
so now Daniel Dubois, the money man now. Okay, everybody want to taste this motherfucker. I'm so sick and tired of seeing him. I'm tired of seeing him. I don't even want to see him right now. I want to see him right now.
Out of me, but the Lord had my back tonight, and my family around me, so I wasn't going to be denied. He could have thrown everything at me. I would have come through it. It felt almost like a dream tonight in the ring, and I just had to seize the moments. I thank my dad, I thank God and my whole family for being around me and just keeping me grounded. Tonight I became Daniel in the Lions Den, and I had to come through that. I was unstoppable tonight, and the Lord was with me, and I just come through it.
Now see what happens when these fighters are active. Both of these fighters, both Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, this is their fourth fight since August of last year. 4 fights in 13 months. But you can argue, even though he has that loss to Usyk, that Dubois had the tougher schedule. For example, let's go look at it. Since August 12th of last year, Robert Helenius, ill. By the way, he popped dirty. Ottawa Lean, okay, all right. Francis Ngannou, then Dubois. But look at Dubois. Since August, Alexander Usyk, Gerald Big Baby Miller, Felix Hergelvin, and then he fought Joshua. He was coming in hot. And all these, even if you go back to Kevin Lerena, all these were hard-fought wins. Well, the loss, but, for the most part, a lot of people think he won that fight. I don't. But for the most part, these were hard-fought wins. He came in with a lot of momentum. And if I would have did a preview video, I would have pointed this out. Like, he probably going to go in there on some bulldozer. And these were big confidence boosters. Remember, he went down, as you can see, 3 times in the first round against Kevin Lerena. Then went on, some people say he quit against Usyk, but he came back in a tough fight against Gerald Big Baby Miller, of all people, where he was getting busted up in there too, and stopped him in the very last round. Then he beat up the boogeyman, ate a whole bunch of right hands, and I was wondering, how's he going to keep eating these shots from Hergovitz? Stopped him. And then coming to the Joshua fight, he was definitely dangerous. Definitely dangerous. Definitely dangerous. You know, so congratulations to the people who put money on Dubois for a knockout, because knowing Anthony Joshua, see, here's the thing. He's a young, in his prime, for heavyweights, he's in the beginning of his prime, and he's already been battle tested by having his face broken against Joe Joyce. So he's been building up this momentum, and now look at the resume. He's got Joe Joyce on his resume, Usyk, Miller, Hrgovic, and then he beat Anthony Joshua on top of the world. So Anthony Joshua, he says he's not done, but the heavyweight division, as you can see, it's top heavy. I mean, look what you got going on here. You got Usyk versus Fury 2. That's going to be December the 21st. You got Martin Piccoli getting that big win over Gerald Anderson. I don't consider that an upset. Never did, by the way. You got Big Bang Zhilei Zhang, who put a boot in Deontay Wilder's ass. You got Joe Parker. People forget he's the WBO interim champion. And his resume, you can argue that his losses, he can beat those guys now. He's also a guy who's greatly improved, and he's still young. So you got all these potential fights out there that can be made for Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua. 35-3. I think that he can beat Joe Joyce in a rematch. Joe Joyce beat the shit out of him, though. That was crazy. But I think he could, left him, he looked like a dead body. Left him, let me pull that up. Let me pull that clip up. Joe Parker was fucked up. I ain't see, he straight got juggernauted. You don't get juggernauted like juggernauted. Where's he at? Look. But since then, he's been on a roll. Where's that photo at? Where you at, photo? Where you at? You gonna show right here? Well, anyway, y'all see it. Dude was going through it. He was going through it. But you can argue that Joe Parker can beat Joe Joyce in a rematch. He'll definitely beat Dylan White, in my opinion, and he can probably beat Anthony Joshua in a rematch. He can avenge all three of those. And he's only 32 years old. Remember, Joshua's still relatively young, especially for heavyweights. He's only 34. And no matter what, Joshua has the best resume in in heavyweight boxing, despite the fact that he hasn't fought Tyson Fury or Usyk. So that says something. But it is sad and tragic that we are not going to be able to see Fury versus Joshua. Likely, we may not see that. May not. Joshua versus Wilder, we likely may not see that. I think they can still try to push Joshua Wilder, though. I think. Not in Wembley. It's not no stadium fight no more. Maybe in the O2 or some shit. And Wilder's been off the map. You know, he's got those allegations with his fiance. I don't know if they got married. So he hasn't been posting nothing on social media or nothing. Tyson Fury, let's not forget, he was playing with Usyk until he got his ass caught. Tyson Fury, you know what he's like when it comes to for those who play video games. Tyson Fury is let me see something. His chin is like a 82. You touch him, he gonna have some issues, but his recovery, is like a 95. He'll go down, but he will get up, and he recovers well. But at the end of the day, he did lose, and that was a close fight. He lost to Usyk. Yeah, I think that Fury can win the rematch, and that's true. He plays too much. Remember, he was playing with Wilder in the first fight. That's how he got dropped, doing all that ducking all low and all that, toying around. But he'll get up. But we'll have to see on December the 21st on how this plays out. But now, the heavyweight division is all over the place. Let's go look at the guys. Let's go look at how deep the heavyweight division is. All right, you got Usyk, top of the food chain. Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua, Zhilei Zhang, Martin Piccoli. Let's not forget Ija Cabiel. You got Derek Chisora still floating around out there. Frank Sanchez, Fabio Wardley, Frazier Clark. Luis Ortiz. Gerald Big Baby Miller. It's deep. You know, Big Baby Anderson, F.A. Ajagba. It's a very deep division, division, and a whole lot of fights can be made. For example, Joshua, let's say if he don't fight Dubois, let's say if they want to go for one final rebuilding phase with him, who would you put him against next, like a confidence booster? I would say, you think he can beat, you think that Zhilei Zhang would be too dangerous of a fight for Joshua at this point? I mean, he'll be able to take his time. You know, he won't, Zhilei Zhang is not the type of high pressure fighter as Dubois, so he'll be able to take his time. Bakoli is a very accurate puncher, always has been. I'm not just saying this from the Gerald Anderson fight, because I've covered him before. I think that Bakoli, Joshua want to stay away from that because he can hit you clean and have you all messed up. But I think the Zhilei Zhang, you know, or strike while the iron is hot. Strike while the iron is hot. And well, simmering, and just go for Wilder. And Wilder's resume is shit, by the way. He's like 1-3-1. And let's go look at it real quick. What is Deontay Wilder's resume? And he's not ranked anywhere either. Deontay Wilder's fall from grace has been crazy. Let's see here. Let's go look at it. Deontay Wilder, since 2020, has only won one fight, and that's against bum-ass Robert Helenius. Look at that. That's crazy. One and 4 in his last 5 fights. He should have took that money. And look, once he steps up, and let's not forget, he did struggle with Luis Ortiz in both fights before he knocked him out. So look how once he step up, and then look, you see what happens when you consistently fight, you know, good fighters. This is what happens. This is what happens. You know, but at the same time, I'm glad we got to see these fighters active. But going back to the heavyweight division, I think that Joshua, if he doesn't go directly into the rematch and he say, you know, we want to do an interim, Daniel Dubois doesn't have a mandatory, by the way. You know, Daniel Dubois wants to take a voluntary against Ajit Kabiel or whoever, Martin Bakoli, or, you know, whoever. Joshua versus Zhilei Zhang, Ajit Kabiel, or Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark winner. I think that would make sense from him. But also, you know, do you have him take a layoff? Do you be like, you know what? You've been active. You've had 4 fights in 13 months. Let's give you an 8-month, you know, 6 to 8 month rest period, and then we come back. And by the way, since we're here, who are your top? I tell you what, let's do it this way. I'm going to give you my top. I guess I'll do top 10. It's enough to do top 10. I'll give you my top 10 heavyweights. Now, this is not by champions. This is just mine. Let me have my opinion. Respect my pronouns. All right. So I got Usyk number 1. Fury number 2. Joseph Parker number 3. Daniel Dubois number 4. Anthony Joshua number 5. Martin Bakoli number 6. Zhilei Zhang number 7. Shit, who number 8? I'm getting a little stumped here. Number 8. Let me see here. Let me look. I'm going to go with Ajit Kabiel. Boom. Did I say Martin Bakoli already? Fuck. I'm messing up. Did I say Bakoli already? Maybe I should write this down. Hold on. Let me get my pen and my pad. You know what? Nah, let me just pull up the old-fashioned notepad right here on the screen. Boom. All right, let's put this shit over here. All right, so I'm going to do 1. Boom. Usyk. 2. Fury. 3. Parker. 4. Dubois. 5. Who did I say 5 was? Hold on, who did I say 5 was? Who did I say 5 was? Hold on, who did I say 5 was? Bacolia Zhang. Who do I have for number 5? Bacolia Zhang. Let me see. Let me leave my racial bias out of this. Oh, no, wait. I forgot to tell y'all. I no longer identify as half black, half Irish, and half full-blooded Chicano Mexican. I'm now Afro-Latino X. That's me now. So I decided a few weeks ago that, it just sounded right. I just kept saying it. I was like, you know what? Afro-Latino X. So yeah, I'm that now. So I'm not, that's me. Bacoli, I'm going to give it to Bacoli because I think Bacoli can beat Big Bang. Bacoli's my number 5. I'm going to show you my list when I'm done. CCP, Unwavering Chinese Power, Zhang, number 6, number 7. Let me see, number 7. I'm going to go Idrit Cabiel. We're gonna go just put Idrit. There you go. Let me see number 8. Let me see number 8. Number 8. Who number 8? Who's number 8? I'm gonna go Fabio Wardley. No, I can't do that. I feel like Hergovitz still kicking around out there, even though he lost. You know what? I got to give number 8 to Hergovitz, because he did lose his pop and he ain't been the same since. That's just me. 9, Fabio. But Fabio should really be 8, but whatever. We're going to go Fabio. And number 10, who's my top? Oh, shit. We got Andy Ruiz and Gerald Big Baby Miller kicking around. Oh, man, my list is jacked up now. My list is all jacked up now. But see, look, this goes to show you how deep the division is. Look, all right, so here's listen, this is my top 10. And it may be, I may not really believe this. Can I make this? How do I raise the zoom? What's the key for zoom? Control plus. All right. Let's see here. Where's the plus? Boom. So this my list. Now the bottom 4 may be a little jacked up. You can flip flop those guys. But it's a very deep division. I like Fraser Clark, but right now, see, here's the thing. See, it's just a deep division. I like Guido Valinello, excuse me. I know I'm still butchering his name, but it's a very deep division. But like I said, I'm not ready. I'm not count Anthony Joshua out. I think he still got something left to give. By the way, let's go talk about this undercard. What did y'all think about this card? I mean, it was only $20. I mean, can we really complain? It was $20. However, I do admit there was some fights that didn't really mean anything. By the way, the biggest, I guess you can say, somewhat upset outside of Dubois and Joshua was Mark Chamberlain, who's supposed to be Turki Al-Sheikh's favorite fighter, but I think he's lying. Was upset by Josh Padley. That was the first fight on the pay-per-view portion of the card. Josh Kelly, 154-pound top contender, by the way. He looked like, I ain't gonna say he looked like shit, but he's next in the line for a title shot. Well, a title eliminator. But in fact, let me go pull it up. Let me just, break it down real quick for you, because I sat here and watched this whole card. Let me go break down 154 for you real quick. Where we at? So here's Josh Kelly. Boom. He fought late replacement Ishmael Davis, who was supposed to be Liam Smith, but Liam Smith, for whatever reason, pulled out. I don't know. Josh Kelly, number 2 by the WBO, number 5 by the IBF, and he is number 12 by the WBC. But as you can see here, Tim Tszyu is ranked number 1 by the WBO. but he's fighting Bakhram Murtazaliev, so Josh Kelly will be number 1, and Xander Zayas will likely be number 2. Erickson Lubin is supposed to fight the winner of Bakhram Murtazaliev and Tim Tszyu. Terrence Crawford is the WBO interim champion, but if Sebastian Fundora doesn't fight him, Crawford gets elevated. Sebastian Fundora is heavily linked to the crippled, recovering substance abuse drinker Errol Spence. Or he may fight Jamel Charlo. We don't know. But I think that Josh Kelly will eventually be ordered to fight Xander Zayas, and Xander Zayas is going to beat him up. Josh Kelly did not look good today, and he does not look like he belongs in the top 5. For example, I think that Xander Zayas would beat Josh Kelly, Virgil Ortiz would beat Josh Kelly, Sergey Bondarchuk would beat Josh Kelly, Israel Madrimov would beat Josh Kelly, Sebastian Fundora, if he jabs, would beat Josh Kelly. Terrence Crawford would beat the shit out of him. Jamel Charlo would beat him up. So you kind of see where I'm going with this? So anyway, he beat Ishmael Davies. And by the way, there was a really bad card where basically they tried to rob him. One judge. Anthony Cacace made Josh Warrington retire. So Josh Warrington left his gloves in the ring. He's crippled. Well, he was going through some shit. Crawford crippled him. You thought I was going to say something else. Crawford crippled that man, beat the shit out of him. You know what? Let me show you something here. Errol Spence. Crawford was the car accident. That was the car accident. That shit was a head-on collision. Look what he did to his face. You ever see this picture? I showed it before, but like I want to find a zoomed in one, but he made him look like a blunt force trauma victim. And we ain't seen this man since. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying. Joshua Buatsi, I'm tired of him. You know why? Because his resume is shit and it's smoke and mirrors. And the man is 31 now. And look, nothing is on his resume. And he had a chance to fight Dmitry Bivol. And he jumped ship. So I hate to be like this, but ain't nothing here. Willie Hutchinson, Dan Aziz, okay. Pawal Stepien, Craig Richards, okay. Richard Balakniks, So he beat Willie Hutchinson, but it's like, dog, like, my bad, it was Buatsi they tried to rob, not Josh Kelly. But it's like, bro, you got to do something. And right now, I don't see nothing special. You know what it looks like? It's like he belongs at 168 pounds and he just masquerading at 175. That's what it seems like to me. I just don't see it. And then, of course, we already talked about the main event. So, by the way, for those who don't know, of course you do know, the numbers are circulating that, what is this? Who's messaging me? Let me see what that is. Is that a bill? For those who don't know, Canelo versus Berlanga 1 week ago is said to have done really well on pay-per-view. You know, it's looking like, well, it's being said, hold on, let me find this sports journal. It said they've done 650,000 pay-per-view buys at $90. Let's see, what's that math? Let me check real quick. Let's see here, what's that math? That would be $58.5 million in revenue. So about $59 million in revenue off of pay-per-view buys, just pay-per-view, not whatever money comes from Mexico and other territories, but just from, stateside pay-per-view. That's a hell of a number, especially in this day and age of streaming, because you can expect that maybe, about that number or a little less, like watched it for free. And then you can't deny that Puerto Rican Mexican rivalry still, like it still draws numbers. For like Puerto Ricans, they love their fighters, man, and Berlanga was able to pull him out just off of him being Puerto Rican, not off of him being Edgar Berlanga, but it's like, oh, we got a Puerto Rican fighting a Mexican. All right, we buying that. It's fighting Canelo too. He young, undefeated. That was the selling point. So it looks like the pay-per-view was a success if these numbers are true, and I believe them. So when you think about what, just a little under 80 million between ticket sales and pay-per-view buys, that's crazy. But now the question is, will Terrence Crawford and Canelo fight? Because who else is Canelo going to fight in the 168-pound division that can bring in some numbers, unless he makes Chris Eubank Jr. move up and fight him in the UK? That's pretty much the only way I see that fight really selling. Nobody in the States knows Chris Eubank Jr. And in order to get, and I feel that if they make Crawford versus Canelo or Canelo Crawford, that can do 800,000 pay-per-view buys, may even crack 1 million. And yes, Crawford's not known to be the biggest name, but I'm supposed to as far as moving pay-per-views, but he's shown with Errol Spencer, if you match him, he can bring in the numbers, match him right. Somebody said Hutch is 26. He'll go a lot further than Buatsi, who is limited. Whoa, I can't agree with that, bro. And about this face of boxing, it's been this argument, who's the face of boxing between Canelo, Joshua, and Tank Davis. Listen, big Tank Davis fan over here, but he don't do nowhere near the global numbers. We're talking global that Canelo and Joshua pulls. As we can see, Joshua's had how many stadium fights? Canelo's pulled in how many fights over pay-per-view buys over 500,000? So Tank Davis, listen, he don't have the rivalry, the rivalry with opponents, because he picks and chooses who he want to fight, or his team does. The Ryan Garcia fight, yes, is because they matched him with Ryan Garcia. But Tank has shown he can't just fight anybody and get 1 million pay-per-view buys. So if I was to say globally, Canelo's big. Joshua's big. They're both big in their own right, but Tank Davis is nowhere near both of them. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's the face of boxing. And anybody saying like he's the face of boxing, see, here's the thing, there's not really a face, because if you think about it, in the European territories and for a good portion of the world, Joshua fights are well known. Same with Canelo. But Tank Davis fights are not really ringing bells globally. But you can't deny, like, Joshua bring him out. And the thing is, Joshua can still bring him out. Joshua can probably still pull a couple, at least one more stadium fight, if they build him up right. But let's see, what's on the schedule for next week? What's next week's fights? Don't tell me. I kind of remember. Oh, also Jaime Munguia. I fell asleep during the Joey DeWedko, Richard Torres fight, but Jaime Munguia won last night. That was an eliminator. Let me see. What's the schedule next week? I can agree with Tank is somewhat the face of American boxing to an extent. Nah, because Canelo still pulls in the more numbers than him. And yes, Tank, you can say Tank, like, when it comes to the East Coast and, like just the whole East Coast, he got it on Smash. But if you was to say America, it's still Canelo. His pay-per-views are on American television. Where's the fight schedule? What's coming up next week? But overall, overall, if I was to rate Joshua Buatsi card, now take away the upset of the main event, how would you rate on a scale of A to F? Of course, you can use minus. What would you rate this card? I'm giving it a B. Not a B minus, not a B plus, but a B. And I'm a tough critic these days because the undercard, I wasn't really, not really bad fights, I guess. See, here's the thing. Cacace, Josh Warrington, that's a meaningful fight. Okay. The Josh Kelly, if that was Liam Smith, that would have been a meaningful fight. Buatsi versus Willie Hutchison, well, if you really think about it, Buatsi is now a WBO interim champion. And does he, Hamzah Sheeraz versus Tyler Denny. Those two fights right there got a question. Like I'm just like, okay, all right, showcase-ish fights, I guess. But I'm cool with a B. What's your rating? Let's see. Jean Pascal fight tonight. Should I watch this? Should I be a degenerate and turn this on? Let's see, what's next weekend? Sandy Ryan, Michaela Mayer, Xander Sayas, Peak of the Devil versus Damian Sosa. So we may hear next week about possible Xander Zayas and Josh Kelly. Vito Monicki returns. Alicia Baumgartner's returning against Delphine Pursoon. I wonder where this is going to be televised at. Can we find that somewhere? Ha ha ha. Okay, Rihanna Dixon, Terry Harper returns. Closing out the month with some solid fights, but not necessarily great, I guess. But, let's see, is there a date for this? I mean, a network? What is this? Get out of here. Don't tell me to turn off mine. Read more. When? Okay, so it's in Atlanta. 11 p.m. Ring walks 11 p.m. Fubo Sports Network, so it's free. So if you want to see the Alicia Baumgartner fight, it's going to be on the Fubo. You'll probably get a free trial and watch that. I watched the fight on it before, like years ago. Excuse me. Let's get some water. But that being said, I know Joe and Pascal is still fighting. It's crazy. But with that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. And it was nice talking to you guys. I've been sitting here covering boxing since 12 o'clock, noon. So I need a little bit of break. It's 9 p.m. Thanks for watching.